Listen, man, no one's gonna tell you this, but I will. When you stop chasing her, everything changes. Not just for you, but for her too. And the irony is, what she feels when you stop running after her is the exact opposite of what she pretends to feel. She'll act like she doesn't care. She'll act like your absence means nothing. She'll act like she's already moved on. But beneath the mask, something is happening to her that she can't admit out loud. Not to her friends, not to her family, not even to herself in the quiet of her own mind. And if you want peace in your chest, if you want clarity in your soul, you need to understand this truth. When you stop chasing, you don't just free yourself, you expose her reality. Think about this. For as long as you were chasing, she had certainty. She knew you were there. She knew you'd text. She knew you'd react. She knew you'd check in, forgive her, fight for her, prove yourself to her. And whether she admitted it or not, that certainty was a form of validation. It told her, I am still valuable. I still have his attention. I still matter to him. You were her mirror, and she could look into you anytime she doubted herself. But when you stop chasing, that mirror shatters. Suddenly she doesn't have the constant reassurance. Suddenly she doesn't know if you still care. Suddenly the comfort she took for granted is gone, and this does something to her, something powerful. At first she'll resist it. She'll double down on her pride. She'll act colder. She'll post more online. She'll show the world and herself that she's unaffected, but that's only the surface reaction. Beneath that surface, the questions start bubbling. Why isn't he chasing anymore? Did he stop caring? Did I push him too far? Has he replaced me? These questions don't fade, they grow, because women by nature are wired to test. And when you fail a test, she dismisses you. But when you pass it, when you stop responding the way she predicted, you ignite curiosity. And curiosity is one of the most powerful emotional hooks a woman can feel. Let's go deeper. Chasing is about energy, and a woman feels your energy more than your words. When you chase, she feels your desperation. Even if you're not saying it, she feels your neediness bleeding through your actions. Every text, every just checking in, every can we talk, every attempt to fix things, it all tells her the same story. You need her more than she needs you. And once she feels that imbalance, she loses respect. Because respect is born from strength, not need. But the moment you stop chasing, the energy flips. For the first time, she feels uncertainty. For the first time, she feels the void you left behind. For the first time, she feels what it's like to exist without your constant validation orbiting around her. And whether she admits it or not, it stings. Because the truth is, women don't just miss men. They miss the way men made them feel. And when you were chasing, you gave her the security of knowing you were still there. When you stop, you rip that security away. Now, here's where it gets brutal. At first, she won't give you the satisfaction of showing it. She'll act stronger. She'll try harder to look like she's unbothered. She'll smile louder, laugh harder, live wilder. But these are performances, and every performance is a mask covering the same quiet fear. What if he's really done with me? That fear doesn't fade with time, it grows. Now let's flip the perspective. What happens inside of you when you stop chasing? You start to heal, you start to detach, you start to feel the ground under your feet again. At first it's painful, because your body was addicted to the chase. You were addicted to her responses, her coldness, her silence, her breadcrumbs. It doesn't matter whether she gave you love or rejection, you were addicted to her attention. When you cut yourself off from that cycle, you go through withdrawal. You feel restless, you want to reach out, you want to break the silence, but if you resist, something shifts. You start to feel stronger, your focus sharpens, your masculine energy begins to return to you. And here's the paradox. The more you heal, the more she feels your absence, because she can sense it. She can sense that you're no longer orbiting around her. She can sense that your energy has detached, and this triggers something primal in her psychology. The fear of losing what once seemed certain. That's when she starts to feel the pull. That's when her pride begins to crumble. That's when the mask begins to slip. So what does she feel truly when you stop chasing? Let me lay it out. At first she feels relief. Yes, relief, because your chase was suffocating her. It confirmed her power. It inflated her ego. It gave her the upper hand. So when you first stop, she thinks she's finally free of it. But relief quickly turns into curiosity. She expected you to return. She expected another message. She expected you to keep orbiting. But when you don't, she wonders, what changed? Curiosity then turns into insecurity. She starts questioning her own worth. Did he replace me? Did he find someone better? Did he finally realize I'm not as valuable as he thought? Insecurity then turns into obsession. The more she doesn't know, the more she needs to know. And that's when she begins checking your profile, asking mutual friends, keeping tabs on your silence. And obsession eventually turns into respect, the very thing that died when you were chasing. She respects the man who can walk away. She respects the man who can detach. She respects the man who doesn't need her validation to breathe. And if you hold your ground long enough, respect can turn into attraction again. That's when she circles back. That's when you get the "hey stranger." That's when she suddenly remembers the bond you had. But by then, you're no longer the same man. And that's the point. Because the real victory isn't making her feel anything. The real victory is becoming the man who no longer needs her to. That's where masculine self-control comes in. That's where emotional detachment becomes power. Because most men break during the silence. Most men collapse under the weight of uncertainty. Most men chase again. And in doing so, they give away their dignity one more time. But not you. Not anymore. You're not here to play the game of endless validation. You're here to reclaim your gravity. And when you stop chasing, man, you become gravity. You become the center. She feels it. Everyone around you feels it. Because you're no longer pulled outward by desperation. You're pulled inward by strength. So listen closely. The truth about what she feels when you stop chasing is simple. She feels the collapse of her certainty. She feels the sting of her pride. She feels the echo of your absence. She feels curiosity, insecurity, obsession, and eventually respect. But none of that matters unless you feel something greater: freedom. Freedom from needing her validation. Freedom from needing her presence. Freedom from needing her approval to feel like a man. Because once you taste that freedom, you'll never chase again. You'll never beg again. You'll never give your power away again. And that's when you realize the chase was never about her. It was about you. It was about filling the emptiness inside you with her attention. But now you fill it with your own strength, your own purpose, your own center. And the moment you do that, you win. So remember this: the silence is not your weakness, it's your weapon. The detachment is not your loss, it's your liberation. And the day you stop chasing is the day she finally starts to feel the weight of who you really are. That's the truth. And it's a truth no one will tell you, but I just did. If you've made it this far, you already know. This isn't just about her. It's about you. It's about becoming the man who no longer breaks when someone walks away. And if you want to take this even deeper, if you want to know what happens when you master detachment completely and she comes chasing after you, watch the next video, because that's where the real transformation begins.